Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 9 of Endless Legend. I've now pulled my armies back to my main city because I'm getting a little bit worried about the orange AI guy up here who has been making a few little threats, and I don't want anything nasty to happen. We're progressing along in the quest. We've got to build 2 boroughs in our capital city. We've already built 1 and we have the second one queued up. What we can do now, of course, is I've just remembered, now we've moved our army back into our own territory, we can go in and retrofit the army because that will upgrade our Justicars. We could probably also get another unit in this army. So, but when you consider some of them do count as 2, but I don't think the Titans do. So we could build another Titan, or of course we could just get another Marine, because our Marines do a huge amount of damage. Of course, we could also go and throw a Centaur in there as well, which could be quite nice, because they are fast, they are range slayers, and they do have a bit of block. So, yeah, maybe we will actually go and do that. And, of course, we can always upgrade the Centaurs as well, because they have some nice stuff available to them. Not too worried about upgrading them yet, because we're not actually using them. But what I would like to do is actually go and have a look at my hero now, because now that we're in our own territory, we can go ahead and give her that better bow. And we've also got, mind you, look at that. 155 attack. That's much better. And we've got the materials to do it as well. Although it is a two-handed bow, that one is. It's not a crossbow, it is a longbow, but it is really, really... Ah, there is a crossbow version. I think that's still much better. I think we're going to give her that. And I think we're going to give her the shield as well. You know, let's just start tanking her up, because this hero has been really good. Unfortunately, we don't have the dust to do that right now, which is a bit of a shame. We give her original shield back. Oh, I don't even have enough dust just to do that. Okay, fine, we'll cancel that then. It's quite an expensive investment, that one. So we'll have to leave that until another turn. Yeah, we only have 116 dust at the moment, so it is not exactly brilliant. Is there anywhere else around our own territories that we can and should be exploring? Doesn't look like there is, really. We could start marching through our enemy's territory, but I'm not necessarily sure that that is going to be a particularly good idea. So let's keep our armies somewhere relatively central where they can respond to any threats, and then what we'll do is we'll end the turn. Still looks like I am a heading score. At Cold War with everybody, but I do have peace with the other Volters faction on the map. So you guys are going to move up here. No other notifications on this turn, so not really an awful lot I can do. So let's just go ahead and end the turn straight away. I could potentially bolster the size of this army by adding another unit to it, and it is something that I have been considering, but we haven't done it yet. So we get to choose a new research, what would be useful to us at this point. So the stockpile could be useful. We do probably need to get stockpile up and running at some point, although we're not really producing any excess of anything right now. We could get a smelting station, which would give us a couple of extra strategic resources. Endless recycling we've already done. Not too bothered about the weapons and stuff at the moment. Strength of the vault, plus 80 city fortifications on city, plus 5 city fortification points recovered per turn. That could be quite good, actually, upgrading the strength of our cities. Particularly if we do come under attack, that could be quite useful. Dust Refinery would give us a lot of additional money, and right now that's becoming even more important. So we should probably consider that. The National Museum would also be really good as well, although it does require some strategic resources that we don't currently have. Well, that would certainly help our influence. We could get bread and circuses, which would give us a little bit less expansion disapproval. Highway outposts. +1 trade routes max on cities. Trade routes could be very useful for us. And lookout towers. I think we're going to go for that, actually. It might lead to lookout towers. Let us go for that, see what happens. And then we will probably go for... not the National Museum. There was one that oh, cargo docks. There was one that I looked at before, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, the Dust Refinery. So we'll queue that one up second. And let us end the turn here. Right, what's your problem now? Had another message. Common friends indicate that we have common goals and ambitions. Is this a compliment? We've got a common frontier, lower global score, and living space tension. Okay. Public granary has been completed in Morris. They're now working on the Titan bone extractor. That is fine. Our resource boost has ended. We've got plenty of glass steel, so we could just go ahead and reactivate that. So let's do that and give us some more dust, because we seem to be running short of dust at the moment more than anything else. I hear stuff moving around, although that could just be a borough expansion. Oh, Moonleaf extractor's completed. They're now working on the borough streets. That is fine. Again, not an awful lot I can do on this turn, so let's just go ahead and end that there. Hopefully at some point something will happen. Definitely hearing stuff being built. See, he's still moving his units through my territory. Might be just scouting, but it still worries me a little bit. Moonleaf extractor has finished into Lillian and now working on the public library. That's absolutely fine, no problem with that. And Morris has grown to a population of 8, which means we can go ahead and just reassign some of its population, because everybody's working food now, which is absolutely ridiculous. Let's have a couple of people in approval. And let's put one of you into production. Let's move one of you into science, actually. Put one of you back on food. That seems reasonable. Maybe move one of you into dust. Yeah, I'm happy with that for now. Probably just moving people around randomly, and it probably isn't actually doing me any benefit whatsoever, but we shall see what happens. Okay, nothing apparently to worry about here. Now, there is a fair bit of science coming out of some of these tiles, so it might be nice to actually have something like the Advanced Alchemy Lab in there. And that is a terrain anomaly. That's the reason we're getting so much, because it's moss pearls. That's why we're getting so much science from it. So potentially having the cryometric monitors would be useful, because we would get the plus 15% on the terrain with an anomaly, but it can only be built once in the game. So it may be better being built over here. Oh, we are building it over here already, so that's fine. But we don't have any terrain with anomalies. I'm going to cancel that from the queue. And I'm actually going to queue that one up here. I think this is a better place for it to be. Honestly do. Let's end the turn. 4 turns away from completing the borough expansion. 3 turns now, and that will complete the next part of our mission. Oh, we didn't declare that war on the Empire within 0 turns. Oh, well, I don't mind too much. I think we can give up the reward and not have to go to war. It's not the game style that we're going for on this particular one, so it probably wasn't worth it. Lillian's completed its public library. It's now working on borough streets. Happy with that. I probably should consider building another unit to go and explore, but didn't work out too well last time. Highway outposts are now completed. Now, I assume that's something that we're going to have to build. Yeah, now we can actually build lookout towers. A network of towers that accrue day and night give both defensive bonuses to the city and increase in vision range. Plus 20% health regen on expansion, plus 10% ally health regen on expansion, plus 5 vision on expansion. Watchtower's health regen effects are applied to their adjacent tiles, so that's all quite nice. We could also get Caravanserai going, which would give us additional trade routes, because we don't seem to have any trade routes going at the moment. Probably should get one of those going, and lookout towers, I assume we just plonk them down wherever we have a foundation for one, like here, for example. So let us start working on that. Let's end the turn, because not a lot else we can do right now. And here is the winter. So it hits us pretty hard. Not too bad though, because of course we do have our winter food thing in our capital. So that's going to help us with food a little bit. Not a massive amount. Still not an awful lot going on. What we might have to do at some point is try and get another hero to try and manage our cities a little bit if possible. We have now completed the third part of our quest though and got ourselves 80 influence. We have reason to congratulate ourselves. We can look to a future from a position of strength and security. That's fantastic. But we do now have our main mission quest 4. The source of the feeling of darkness inside me revealed itself. I killed. I, a droid, built to heal people, killed. All the suffering, all the bloodshed I witnessed must have caused something in my mind to snap. I went on a murderous spree. The instruments used to ease pain became tools I used to inflict pain. Countless men and women died at my hands. Thank the gods, but somehow I was stopped, left in scrap and some abandoned place. But now I learn the worst thing. The Volters who saved me are the descendants of those who I murdered. In many of their faces I see the faces of those I cut to ribbons. My shame and guilt burn bright, but I do not have the strength to confess. Instead I will attempt to find my redemption. I vow to do everything in my power to aid their quest for survival. Artifacts and relics studied by Volta scientists have suggested the existence of a legendary Argosy, a near impregnable fortress their ancestors were driven from after an ancient catastrophe. Many believe it is the key to their survival, that they will be able to ride out the cataclysm within its walls. I believe the Argosy is one and the same as the great ark I lived in for so long, and I have told the first of the bloodline Zolya as much. My memory bank still contains some hints as to its location, and soon an expedition will be mounted to discover its precise whereabouts. Now, one of the victory types that you do get in this game is a wonder victory. Now, each different empire has its own wonder that it can build. And you have to complete your quest line, your empire-specific quest line, in order to be able to build that wonder. So, the Argosy is probably going to be what our wonder ends up being. But, I don't know, we'll see if we end up getting there. We need to capture the city of Hayward and make sure it has been destroyed in order to discover what remains of the ancient sites. So, what city is that it wants us to destroy again? My memory. Seriously. Where are we? Browse list of quests. Howard. Right. Do we know where that city is? Is it up here? Is it these guys? Do we need to go and... No, that's spelled differently. It's not this place. Maybe it's somewhere on the map that we haven't found yet then. It would be nice if it would show me where it is. Oh well, I'm sure we will discover it at some point. We're not particularly looking for it right now. And it is winter, which is really not helping the situation for us at the moment. I do still think I want to get another settler out though. We've now completed the borough streets and we're working on our next settler. That's absolutely fine, so I don't have a problem there. 6 turns before we can unlock the next plan, so we're not going to be doing that just yet. We have completed the construction of the borough streets in Tellilian. It's now got an empty construction queue. So what are we going to go ahead and do here? What's our population? It's actually quite high. It might be worth getting Glory of the Empire in here. Or, of course, we could start going for winter shelters and start not having to worry about food. And then we'll go ahead and... what will we do from there? I think there we will get the Glory of the Empire and then go on to the Geomic Labs and get some more science up and running there, I think. Seems like a relatively sensible thing to do. This might be a good time to try and upgrade our hero, because we do have a little bit of money now. So we can potentially upgrade you with this bow. And can we upgrade you with the shield as well? Yes, we can. We have enough money to do that. Let's go ahead and do it. Make you a little bit more tanky should we need you in a battle. Let's end the turn. So we can now actually build these lookout towers now. We do have one queued up, which is going to be useful. I do love how the equipment is actually represented on the character models as well. That's very, very nice touch there. I think that's one of the things that I miss most with games like Civilization, is that all of the units pretty much look the same. I mean, a couple of the different nations have their own faction-specific units, but apart from some colour palette swaps, the rest of the units all look identical. And admittedly, you don't ever really upgrade a unit, it just becomes a different unit type. But it is nice that you can actually equip units to upgrade them here. Even though the number of units you have, there's a very limited number of units. The unit types are very, very limited here. No problems on this turn either. Let's just tank it out, because obviously we do have the winter, and that is hurting things a little bit. Could go out exploring. I can still hear things being built, but I'm not sure what they are. It seems that our empires could learn from each other. These guys are worried. Okay, fine. Let's have a little look at diplomacy, actually. We haven't done that for quite some time. We're pretty much at Cold War with everybody. We do have this this peace with these guys. We could try and get peace with some of the others, which is potentially possible. You're my closest neighbour, and I'd prefer if I was peaceful with you. Might be worth having a bit of a chat with you. And if we wanted to have peace, exactly, could we have peace? Resources. So, apparently we can't... a step further than peace. You can now move freely in each other's territories. And we do have a fair bit of influence amassing now. So, let's open borders. Is there any way to auto-balance this? Because you can see contract terms is all in our favour. So, it's very unlikely that he is going to want to do it. And I don't seem to have anything that I can do to actually trade with it. So if I make an offer, he's probably going to say no instantly. Yeah, they refused. Of course they did. Not an awful lot I can do about that at the moment. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Still at least a couple of turns before winter is over. We've finished the research on the dust refinery, and I don't have anything else queued up now. We still need another, what, 4 or 5 technologies before we can... Yeah. We've learned 5. We need another 4 technologies before we can move on to the 4th era. So what could be useful here? We've already researched that one, of course. It's the green ones I should be looking for. Empire additional approval on... less disapproval on the expansion of cities. That could be useful. Though dust depository could also be useful. Plus 4 dust per population on the city. Let's try and get that one in the bag. Close the research screen. And again, another turn where I can't really do an awful lot. Population has grown somewhere. It's actually Moira's this time around, which is down here. And where did you put that person? Into food. Let's go into science with you, because this is a pretty good science city. You know, it's doing well. Although it's going to take an awfully long time to build that. Maybe we will have one from science into production and speed things up there. Although, of course, it is winter, and that is hampering the speed at which anything happens. So we've got to wait for the winter to wear off before we really get our sort of normal production back. Okay, we can now spend some points. I think we just carry on with the science at this rate. Just leave it as it is. We could even stretch out to... Nope, 450 to go out there. It's a massive amount, which we're only just short of, to be honest. Very, very close to be able to getting that, which would give us +2 science for every district. But we'll stick there. Because it does give us building production cost reduction, so that is very, very nice. Again, not a lot going on, so let's end the turn. Wow, our empire is about to go bankrupt. I hadn't even noticed that. Your empire's expenditures are greater than your remaining treasury. If you do not adjust your dust output, action will be taken and city improvements, units or heroes will be sold. Well, that's definitely something we need to sort out, isn't it? So let's take people out of production for now and start putting them into dust. There's no point growing. Let's move to one of our other cities. Because the problem we have at the moment is we just don't actually have the ability to grow anyway. So I really need to keep more of an eye on that. Let's get a few more people just in the dust. Okay, we're in a positive now, so let's end the turn. At least the game warned me. I honestly hadn't kept my eye on that that notification at all at that point, which was pretty bad. The summer's now back, which is fantastic. And as you can see, we're now making a huge amount of dust. So I'm going to start just moving a few of these people back around. This is Mars. Let's get 3 people in there. I think we can actually leave that there. That's not bad in the grand scheme of things. Lillian, 2 turns away from a population growth anyway. So I think we'll leave you as you are. Our capital city is not growing at all at this rate. We can probably take 1 out of dust though. 52 down to 46, and you're not set to grow. I think it's because you're probably within the limits of how big the city is allowed to grow to, quite possibly. So we'll take that person out of growth and put you into production for now. So that seems all good. No other warnings or anything on this. Oh, I know why it's not growing, of course. It's producing a settler. I should know this from Civilization and just double check that thing. But there's no point actually having population in when you are producing a settler. It's completely pointless. We could go ahead and well, we can't rush by it because we don't have the dust to do so, but we've got a lot of things queued up here. But that's all we're going to do on this video. I'm quite happy with how the Empire is expanding. I mean, there's still quite a few regions here that I could grab. I can't really tell how many regions the AIs have. It looks like these guys have at least 3. Can't tell if they've got any more. These guys could have more further up that I can't see. It's just, like I said, because I haven't played it before, I don't really know the speed at which the AI tends to expand. So I guess we will find out. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Endless Legend. And I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.